All right, everybody. Welcome back to another Art with Arrow podcast. This is our Monday check-in. All right, y'all. Oh, man, what a week we had last week. And I gotta say, man, life stays busy, and I'm still figuring things out. And that's the title of our podcast. Everybody new to the channel, Art with Arrow. I'm Arrow, I'm your host. And I'm a Navy veteran, served 20 years. And I'm a gamer, an artist, a graphics designer, and a content creator. So, mostly on this podcast, we just talk about, where we at for the last week, and what's our plan for this week, the week we're on, and just how we're moving forward and trying to get better. And the podcast has always been kind of slow going, but hopefully things will pick up, and hopefully I'm giving at least some insight to like my journey, and maybe learning from my journey. As I could always use feedback. Feedback helps, right? Growth. You can figure things out. So, at least that's the plan. And I always say, a lot of this is just me spitting out, just my thoughts, spewing out my thoughts so that I can hear them myself and think, forward, and try to, better myself. So that's mainly why I like to do the podcast. So we're moving forward, y'all. I mean, it's been going pretty decent on our gaming channel. The art channel has been kind of lacking, but I think with adding the podcast to the art channel, I think that's kind of helping, because I'm getting an extra video on there every week. So, that's kind of helping a little bit here and there. It's still slow going because I'm only doing the art, twice a week at most, sometimes 3, if I can squeeze in an extra amount of time to do the artwork. And it just is what it is, right? I mean, +5 in the last 28 days. I mean, for subscribers, it's not the greatest, but I mean, at least it's something, right? It's still moving forward. Still, there is progress. It's just very slight. When I move over to the gaming channel, I look at, we're +30. Our gaming channel is really picking up steam. It's really moving, which is wonderful. We're 311 subscribers over there, and, we're catching up to the art channel. The art channel, which is my oldest channel, we're at 383, so we will probably surpass the art channel with the gaming channel, and that's fine. Whichever one gets to 500 first, maybe we can have some crossover. I just have to remember to do cross-posting. I keep forgetting to do cross-posting, and very bad at that, which I want to work on doing cross-posting. What I mean by cross-posting, if you don't know, is, you can, if you post a video on, said gaming channel, right, you can share it to your art channel or the other channel that you have. So whatever channel you posted that video to, you can share that post on the other channel, and then if your subscribers over there see that post, they may go watch the video on the other channel. So it's a way of kind of like, when you have two channels, it's kind of a way of informing your viewers on one channel that, hey, this other channel I'm posting over here too. It's just a good way to kind of, indicate to the folks you already have. And then it gets you more posts, like you're more engaged on both channels when you do the cross posting from each one. And I have a kind of bad habit of doing that, but I think that helps growth if you do that. It helps like get folks to kind of, go check out your stuff. The more posts you do, you may show up more frequently to folks, which is a good thing. So I got to get better at that for sure. I know I need to get better at that. Sorry, y'all. My throat's a little dry. Trying to drink some, got me some Coke Zero there. But, I mean, things are picking up on the gaming channel, and, gaming content, gaming news tends to go up and down. We tend to have some good hits, some bad hits, or whatever. It's always up and down when I look at, like, my view count and all that. But, for the most part, at least the channel's growing, and, some people are coming back more repeatedly, which is nice. Seeing a few folks who, will comment, and then, they come back and comment again to some other stuff. So it's kind of a good thing there. So I'd like to keep that going. So I just need to stay steady with the bit of gaming news that we've been doing, because that's been like really helping the channel grow. And, the streams that I do usually are very low on views, which is fine. Maybe that's just something else that just takes time. I think just posting the videos is helping the channel get noticed. So we'll keep doing that, and we'll just keep working on, when we stream, hopefully more people will start to engage. Just going to take time maybe. All this stuff is, kind of up in the air. You don't know when your moment's going to be, when you're going to have a good, stream, a good post that's going to like, hit with folks or just resonate. So you just got to keep making your content and keep trying to figure out how to progress. At least that's my model, what I've been doing, Some of it works, some of it doesn't, it is what it is. And we just keep trying to adjust, keep trying to make it better. So that's where we've been at. And last week was pretty good, man. I got a couple streams in of Mouse PI for Hire. We got a lot further into the game. I would like to complete that game, hopefully before 007 comes out. So they got 2 games coming out in May, which I'm going to do like a video for like the month of May games. I'm going to do that too. I'm going to try to do that. So I won't do too much about, but the games I'm interested in, coming up, we're looking at 007 First Light coming up in May, and we also got Forza Horizon 6, right? And 6 coming out in May. So some more games I would like to, get a chance to play those games. But, with my ability to be able to like stream games and stuff, it's, usually on just Fridays. If I can get a Saturday in, it's great, but that's not always the case. So if I play it, I have to play it either off stream, or if I get a chance to stream it, I can play it for a little bit. It is what it is. Just family life and all that comes first. So priorities. Everybody has priorities, right? But during the week, I usually can get some time, and I just want to, been focusing hard on the artwork this year. So, still got my father's portrait we're working on. And hopefully we can get that going this week. We'll start painting. I think I got a good sketch going for my father's portrait. And now we just need to start with the painting, which will start on Wednesday. That's what it's looking like. And we'll keep going and plugging away at that until we finish that portrait. And then the next piece of artwork, which was a request from somebody a while back, was doing Archangel Gabriel. So that would be the next one on the list to draw or paint or whatever. So we'll do like a painting of Archangel Gabriel. We'll figure that out, do some posing, figure out how we're going to do it, which iconic imagery of him we'll do or something. I don't know. We'll look at some images and see which one we want to try to make of our own, in like an old style or something. and that'll be fun too. So I mean, I have at least some artwork that should cover at least a couple more weeks, and then I always say, if there's something you want me to see me draw, paint, or whatever, or create, or whatever, just add it to one of the chats, or you can go to artwitharrow.com and request it that way, and I add it to the list, and I'll get to it. Just tackle them one at a time. And it's better if I have a list of stuff to do, because then I can always have something to draw. Otherwise, I'll just do some current stuff once we finish the Archangel Gabriel, which there's always like current movies and stuff you could pull from and say, hey, we'll just do this character from this movie, or we'll do this, So I'll never run out of stuff to draw or paint or whatever. There'll always be options, There'll always be options. So we can just, you can either request something or I'll come up with something. And, that's how I kind of roll with the artwork. And, I want to be more focused on artwork. So that's why we switched it around. Instead of all those gaming days, it's more of just we're doing we're doing 2 art days a week and 1 game stream. 2 art streams, 1 game stream. And my schedule just doesn't allow me to do more than that. That's just about max. If we're doing a podcast on Monday, it gives us, a podcasting day. We got 2 art days and then 1 gaming day. And then, Tuesdays is just a day. It's always a wash because I have to pick up the kids early and take them to their after-school activities. So it's a wash on me being able to do anything other than that. So, and like I said, priorities are a big thing. You got to figure out for yourself, what's priority number 1. If you're single and you don't have a whole lot of stuff going on, you can go to work and come home. You can do streaming all night or whatever, or at least until you have enough time to get enough rest to be ready for the next day of work. So you can do a lot more if you don't have family. But I enjoy spending time with my family. So when I have those times to take my kids to do whatever activities or whatever, that's why the weekends are usually not streaming weekends, because we're usually doing something, something going on. And family time is important. So, the streaming, the gaming and stuff, it kind of comes to a halt. So we get the little bitty 2 hours each day during the week, and that's all we get. And we're just making that work, So, like I said, you're still figuring things out. You're trying to squeeze. When can you squeeze something else in? There's only so much you can do in a day. Especially if you work a job. We work a job. We come home. We try to make a little content and family stuff, and then start it all over the next day after you get rest. That's the life we live in. So, but a lot of good things have been happening with our channel, and I'm really happy with our progress. I can't state that enough. I really do appreciate the folks that have been joining our art channel and our gaming channel on YouTube, which is where most of my growth happens. I don't really get growth here on Twitch. For whatever reason, I don't, it's harder to get noticed on Twitch. I've always struggled with getting noticed on Twitch. So I just typically don't worry about Twitch as much. I'll stream over here and I'll post the stuff to YouTube. And I will multi-stream my game when I'm gaming. I don't multi-stream the podcast or the artwork. I'm just posting those as videos. So That's how we're doing it the old school method, I guess. Which, you don't get like a lot of viewership, I guess, unless folks start noticing you. Which like I said, I don't even know how you do that on Twitch, because it's easier to grow. I find it's easier to grow on YouTube, and it was when Facebook had the gaming thing going. It was real easy to get noticed over there, because you have family and friends that can kind of like jump in and say, "Oh, look, my friend's on," or whatever, So it was super easy to gain following and subscriptions. And like I said, I really regretted switching to Facebook when I left YouTube, because they shut down the gaming thing, which like really ruined a lot of folks who moved over there, and then had to jump to another platform because the platform was falling apart. They was letting the gaming division fall apart or whatever. So learn the lesson there. I should have just stayed with YouTube the whole time. Probably would have been over 500 subscribers on the art channel. But you live and you learn. You live and you learn. Like I said, we still figuring things out over here. We're still figuring things out. Oh man. But it's all good, It's all good. We look at life is a learning lesson. That's what it is. Life is a learning lesson. Every day you learn something new, you figure something else out, So we just got to keep pushing forward with what we got going on. And I can tell you, it's like I said, it's a good thing. We're back on YouTube, and we've been going hard for like a year and some change now. For like the life cycle of the gaming channel, which is like 2 years old now. It's been about 2 years of doing the gaming channel on YouTube, and it's already up to 311 subscribers, which is, I think the growth has been much faster. It has been much faster than my art channel. So that, like I said, is really good. And I like to look at the projection, because you can go to Social Blade and they'll show you like your little projection chart of like when you'll hit 500. And it's showing November. So November 24th, we should get to 500 subscribers. Hopefully, we'll have the watch time, which, the watch time is a thing that I have to kind of keep paying attention to, because I don't understand the watch time. But, I'm not getting enough for, like, even if we hit 500 to, like, get that, what do you call it? The partner stuff or whatever, because it says you need 500 subscribers, at least 3 videos upload. That's easy. We get that, no problem. But the watch hours, you need 3,000 watch hours, which in the last 365 days, so 1 year basically, right? You need the 3,000 watch hours, and I'm nowhere near that. So hopefully we'll be able to figure out getting more watch time. I might have to, like I said, I need to figure out how I could do longer videos. I like doing the shorts because that's helping us grow. Keeping it under 3 minutes, right, is what I think has been helping us grow, because I can post a double video. You can do the long form and then this form, right? The wide shot, and then like that low, like you're holding the phone up view or whatever. 16 by 9, right? 9 by 16 or 16 by 9, whatever. You get the two formats. You can post it twice, and that way you reach 2 different audiences. One who likes to watch it, with they scrolling up, and then the others who will click on the video. So that double up, I think, is helping. By doubling it up like that, that's really helping. You know, it's the same video, it's just in a different format. You know, it's all. You know, and that makes the easy to capture both of those audiences. Now, when I go over to the art channel, the projection is very low, man, and you know it's looking like it's saying 2029 for 500 subscribers. That's why I'm hoping to get more bleed over, which will help the growth. And I think the best way I'm gonna get that bleed over is I gotta make sure I'm doing posts on both channels, like, you know, the post. So I gotta really start hammering down on myself to do that, because I've been lacking. I really been lacking on doing that. You know, the best way is to use those tools. You know, you gotta use the tools that YouTube gives you, and that means, you know, making posts, you know, as well as, you know, posting videos and stuff, you know, streaming, posting videos, all the stuff. You got to use all the tools available to help, you know, with your growth of your channel. And, you know, I've been making thumbnails. Like some of the thumbnails I've been cheating a little bit, you know, hey, you know, it is what it is. But a lot of times I'll just, you know, make a nice little thumbnail myself. But sometimes, you know, you need that little assistant. You know, you gotta use that assistant every now and then when you're in a rush. So, like, you know, just to get something down. But I mean, I'm not the only one. A lot of people are using it. You can tell. You can see their thumbnails. Be like, yeah, that's that assistant. You know, they're using that assistant. You know, you know. You can see it. You know, you can scroll through the thumbnails and you can see there's a lot of folks doing it. You know, so it's not bad. It's just, you know, they're not the greatest. So, I think the main thing is if it cleans it up some, you know, you throw it on there or whatever. But it's all good, man. It really is. And we're still figuring things out. So that's where we're at, y'all. I mean, looking forward to this week. Like I said, this week we're going to be continuing my father's painting, which is a big deal. You know, I really want to make that look really good. You know, so I'm going to take my time. And if that goes into next week, it goes into next week. But at least Wednesday, Thursday this week, we'll be painting my father's portrait. Friday, we'll try to continue Mouse PI for Hire. Hopefully I get further through the game. I would like to complete it, you know, like I said, before 007 comes out, because I do want to be on 007 First Light, you know. And there's so many games coming out this year. It's like, it's hard to keep up. It really is. It's hard to keep up. There is a lot of games that are coming up. And I definitely would like to get to those games, you know. At least play them, you know, all the way through. That would be nice. So hopefully that will be a thing. I did see, you know, that they got the Gamers Nexus did that review on the Steam controller, so they actually have one. I wonder if they're gonna start selling that Steam controller soon. Let me go to the Steam store. I kind of want to know myself. I just saw the video. I might have to watch that and see those benchmarks they're doing or whatever on it. Store, hardware. I know they were saying it was going to be $100. It says coming soon. Oh, so they changed. So if you go to the Steam page, y'all, wow, we have to pull this up, yo. The TV graphic, will it show? Boom. All right, there it is. So, look, they changed it to coming soon, man. Coming soon. Wow. So they changed it to come. Oh, $99. So it's just under $100. Somebody said it was gonna be $100. 99. Oh, it's $100. $99. Probably $99.99. Coming soon. So it's gonna be available. This is hot news, y'all. They got the coming soon with available on May 4th. I'm sorry, May 4th. Wow. So we might have to try to see if we can get in and get us one. Which will be nice, man. So set your date if you just checking into our podcast here. This is hot news. This is a hot topic. I'm sure folks are probably like launching their videos already on it. You know, I'm always behind, so I'll probably, do a little bit of gaming news on it in the morning or something, But yeah, that's really awesome. It's $100 though, $100 controller, but it's a Steam controller, so I use Steam, so I'm definitely going to want to grab that. So May 4th, y'all. I'm guessing is that pre-orders or you just can buy it? I don't think they're doing pre-orders now, right? Because wouldn't it say pre-order? It would probably say pre-order if it was gonna be pre-ordered, right? I'm thinking they're just selling it. I'm thinking you're just gonna be able to go on and buy it, and once they sell out, they sell out, right? I'll try to get one. You know how people be snatching these things up. When it comes to online shopping, it's always hard to get these things, but $99 and on the 4th, that's right around the corner. That is awesome that they dropped the date. So yeah, man, I'll be picking that up for sure. Yeah, I kind of lost track of what I was talking about because I saw that Gamers Nexus had did the Valve Steam controller review, so I need to check that out, man. I haven't even watched that video. It's 26 minutes. So I think when I'm done, we're finishing up this podcast. We'll jump on there. I'll check that review out, see what they talk about it, and I'll try to get us one, so I can at least do a video on that too, I always say that, even if you're late to the party, it's fine. The content can still be good as long as you take your own viewpoint, you try it out, you give your own thoughts on it. People, if your fans like it, they'll watch it, whatever. So that's why I don't really stress on a lot of this stuff if I'm a little day behind or something like that. Obviously they get, they got early access to it, which is nice, but I don't have anything like that. But at least if I can buy it and get it and try it out, I can give people my thoughts on it. Because I use the trusty Xbox joint. I got that blue steel, baby. Got that blue steel joint. You know what I mean? This thing got some weight on it, man. But it's always nice when they have new hardware, and because that particular controller, you can use those pads as like mouse controls. It gives you like. Because you're playing gaming on PC, a lot of the functionality, is, more computer based. So, being able to use that to move the mouse cursor around is, I'm thinking going to be a good thing, So, yeah. So I'll try to grab one though. As always, y'all, my podcast is really just about thinking things through, and hopefully I'm helping people out with them seeing my journey, and you see what I'm doing. I try to talk about it so like you can understand what I mean when I say I double videos up, and I do the shorts just for growth. I think once you get to a certain point, you could do a little bit longer videos. increase your range from 5 to 10 minutes. 5 to 10 minutes. You kind of work your way up to longer videos as you gain audiences that will, be willing to stick around with you. At least that's my plan. Is that the right way? Is that the perfect way? No, probably not. There's all kinds of ways of doing it. You can jump into making content and make nothing but long form videos and find an audience. It may take you a while though. Unless your first video just goes viral, it's a tough road because everybody's making content. So I think the shorts is a good way to kind of build a base, and that's the route I'm taking. We're building a base, doing a lot of shorts, and the growth is showing. Because like I said, if we look at my gaming channel, when I look at the analytics, it says plus 30 in the last 28 days for the subscribers. So that's a good number. When I look at my art channel, it's a lot lower, man. Because I'm making longer form content. The podcast goes on there, which we're 30 minutes. We're gonna post that as a video, and the art videos, I post them as videos. So like I'll do the stream over here, and I post it as a video onto YouTube. So those are all long form, but slow growth, man. Slow growth. I don't do a lot of shorts on that channel, which I should probably. Like I finished the sketch, I should do a short for the sketching portion, and then have the final. We're working on the painting. Do through the painting, and then have the final where it's from the sketch to the painting finish, or whatever. That would give an extra video to that content, which I could do. I just gotta find time to edit that and put that together. But yeah, so shorts do help your channel grow, but I do need to make longer form content on the gaming channel at least once a month or something. I need to figure that out, which I was thinking like doing a 5 to 10 minute video talking about upcoming games for the next month, which I plan to do this week. So that's going to be my longer video. I'm going to try to make that like 5 minutes or something, and hopefully that catches on, and we'll get more views on that type of video content. But I just gotta see. I've been trying to like plan things out. Like I said, still figuring things out. We're still working it out. We're figuring out our path. And yeah, we're moving forward, man. So it's gonna be a great year, even though we had a lot of bad things happen in the beginning of the year. I'm hoping that the rest of the year we can have some ups and ups, ups and ups. Because the beginning of the year has been a Debbie Downer. Debbie Downer. Anyway, let's wrap this up, y'all. So this week, we already said we're going to be doing the painting on my father's. We're going to start painting on that. We're going to do Mouse PI for Hire on Friday. And, you can follow us on Twitch. You can, I think it's follow on Spotify for the podcast. Or you can just go to the artwitharrow.com. We have the podcast going there. The podcast goes pretty much everywhere. The major platforms and my website and the Art with Arrow channel. If you're into the artwork, definitely follow or subscribe to the Art with Arrow. Excuse me, y'all. I'm having hiccups. The Art with Arrow channel on YouTube. And if you like my gaming content, it's the Art with Arrow Gaming on YouTube. So give those a subscribe, like the videos, comment. All that stuff helps the growth of the channels. And until next time, man, you know what to do. I'm out of here.